Added in Minecraft 1.19, the Warden is a terrifying creature found in the Deep Dark dimension that is spawned after setting off 4 Skulk Shriekers. At 500 health, it has almost twice the health of a Wither, in Java at least, and on hard mode, by dealing 22.5 hearts of shield disabling melee damage and 7.5 hearts of armor ignoring range damage, it's the hardest hitting mob in the game. Even with all this, it only drops a Skulk Catalyst upon death, making the risk reward for engaging a Warden pretty unenticing. Despite not being designed as a mob to be sought out and killed, since when has that ever stopped anyone from seeking out a challenge? So what's the best way to kill the Warden? Let's go through some options and figure it out. Let's establish a baseline here. Start off by keeping it simple and attack the Warden head-on with the best gear in the game, Protection 4 Netherite with a Sharpness 5 Netherite sword. Surely we'll stand a chance, right? We can block, right? Oh no, he's disabled our shield, and I'm not gonna last much longer. Okay, so head-on's not the play. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Warden, your next thought would be, okay, well, let's just trap him in a box, and then we can take swings at his feet and do damage that way. But of course, even though we're dealing a lot of damage with our Sharpness 5 sword here, before we're able to deal enough and actually get him taken out, he's gonna switch to the Sonic Boom attack, which is gonna then start ignoring our armor. And we're in normal mode, so it's not dealing the most it could, but one more hit from that, and I'm dead again before I can deal enough damage with the Sharpness 5 sword. So probably not the best strategy either. Logically, the next thought would be, okay, maybe we shouldn't attack directly. Let's instead let lava do the heavy lifting. So let's lure the Warden into this pool of lava here, and unfortunately the Warden doesn't take damage from lava, which I think some people might not actually have realized. And that presents more of an issue because, you know, normally even if you were having trouble with something, you could at least lure it into lava and the lava would get rid of it for you. And you can't do that with the Warden. It's really unfortunate. And with that, it leads us to our next area, which I think is the best way to kill the Warden. And when I say best, I mean it's reliable and it's repeatable and it's simple. It's not very glamorous, but it works. So first things first, you just want to dig a little hole. It can be as small as 2 blocks wide, and then you got to add some trapdoors so the AI thinks it's walking over a block and falls into the hole. Next, you will need a bow and some arrows. Obviously, if you have a Power 5 bow, that's great, but if you're trying to do this really early, just trying to beat the Warden as quickly as possible, this is what you can easily stock up with if you just do some trades at a village with a Fletcher. And so again, we're going for something that can be done quickly, early game, easily, reliably. So let's go over here and we'll spawn the Warden and then hop on across, lure him in. And then what we're gonna need to do, let's back away a little bit, just get him in there. All right, great. So he's stuck in there. He's gonna switch over to Sonic Boom, but Sonic Boom's attack range is actually only 15 blocks. So if we stand behind the line of diamonds here, that's out of range of Sonic Boom. But you're still annoyingly gonna have the darkness effect, and that's gonna keep reapplying. Even so, while you're within the 15 blocks, you'll see it counts down and then it re-ups to 12 seconds. So you actually need to back away a little bit more to 19 blocks. And then, as you'll notice, the darkness effect, it'll actually start counting all the way down and it's not gonna be reapplied by the Warden. Of course, you can go into your settings and you can reduce how significant the darkness effect is in accessibility, but if you're playing with it in full effect, you're gonna need to come back down to 19 blocks away. This gives you a free shot at the Warden. You're out of range of Sonic Boom and you don't have the darkness so you can aim. And then you just keep shooting. And it takes about a stack of arrows, but it gets the job done. And that was 62 arrows because I missed one of the shots. So, not fast, not glamorous, a lot better if you did have Power 5, but again, all it requires is a few emeralds from trading sticks with a Fletcher. Get yourself some arrows, get yourself a bow real quick. And fortunately, because in an ancient city, there aren't other mobs spawning around, you don't have to worry about getting snuck up on. As long as you're not setting off any other shriekers while you're doing this, you should be in the clear. So lure it over to an edge or something like that. Of course, if you want to live dangerously and save yourself a few seconds and a few arrows, you can always try to do a few pot shots with a sword before the Warden switches over to its sonic boom attack. It's being very generous here. And then, okay, hits us with the sonic boom, we back off, and then we repeat the process. It can immediately switch to a sonic boom as soon as it falls in the hole, or in that case, I think that's the longest I've seen it take, you might be able to lay a few shots in. Of course, you might not have a full-on Sharp 5 Netherite sword, but if you do, then you can lay a lot of damage in, and you'll be great. And that time, we saved ourselves quite a few, about 30 arrows or so, by being able to lay in those crit hits at first. Which, again, if you have a Sharpness 5 Netherite sword on you, you probably also have a Power 5 bow, so it would take significantly less, and you'd be able to tackle the whole thing pretty quickly. So I think this is the most easy to set up, reliable way to fight a Warden, and therefore I think it's the best way to approach it, where you're the least likely to die. That said, there's a couple other things over here to look at. So you want to know a fun fact, actually? That's bedrock, bottom of the world. That up there is max build height, top of the world. Did you know that if you have a Warden all the way at the top of the world, and you drop it all the way to the bottom, it will survive? That's pretty fun, right? So you can't actually drop a Warden to its death unless you use dripstone and have a little spike platform. If you do that, you can actually do a 255 block drop right here, put some dripstone sticking up, and then it'll actually be a different story. So if you can manage to do this reliably and get a Warden to be 255 blocks up from a dripstone platform, then you can actually do an automated way of killing the Warden. Unfortunately, ancient cities, they're pretty deep underground, so getting a Warden to follow you up that high and then dropping it off, well, that's going to be a fun thing that you're going to have to figure out yourself, I guess. But this does work. Thank you, dripstone. It hurts a lot. Very spiky. Ouch. But also, I kind of want to do it again because it's actually kind of awesome. And away we go. Sorry, I'm taking pleasure in your pain, bud. I know, we're not really supposed to be seeking out ways to kill you. It's not really your design, but it's just, you know, again, it's a challenge. So 255 blocks. There you have it. Fun time. Finally, there is one more automated trap option for us, and it's probably easier to set up than the fall damage one, because you could build this in an ancient city and not have to worry about luring the Warden 255 blocks up. So let's give this one a try and see how well it works for us. Come here, buddy. Let's go for a little run. Oh, we got him, boys. All right. Suffocation. Surely this won't take a super long time to work out. Let's watch how long it takes to go through 500 hearts with suffocation. Oh. I guess he got bored and decided to leave. That's understandable, actually. I would do the same if I was just suffocating. I'd be like, okay, I'm out. So, just kidding. Suffocation, turns out not really an option. But, hey, this was a cool contraption, and you'd have a great time building it in the ancient city. Right? There you have it. A little overview of some options on how to tend to the Warden, and again, what I think is the best way to kill the Warden, even though it's not glamorous, it works, it's reliable, and you're able to do it fairly early on in the game. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found it informative in some way, shape, or form. If you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for more stuff in the future. And that's all for now. Have a good one.